The NFL made more money from TV deals last year than any sport in American history. Their 2025 season was the most watched since 1989. Fans are tuning in more than ever. So why is the United States Department of Justice now sitting across the table from the most powerful sports league in the country, asking very uncomfortable questions? And more importantly, who actually started this fight? Here is something most people do not know. The NFL is not just a sports league. It is technically 32 separate businesses. And in almost every other industry, if 32 competing businesses sat in a room and decided together how much to charge for their product, the government would call that illegal price fixing. But the NFL gets away with it. They have been doing it legally since 1961 because of a law called the Sports Broadcasting Act. That law gave the NFL a special permission, called an antitrust exemption, to sell all of its TV rights together as one big package. The idea was simple. If the NFL can sell everything together, more games end up on free TV for everyone. That worked fine for 60 years. But here is where things start to fall apart. The Sports Broadcasting Act was written in 1961. There was no cable TV in 1961. There was no internet in 1961. Netflix did not exist. Amazon did not exist. The lawmakers who wrote that law never imagined that one day people would pay $240 a year just to watch out-of-market Sunday games on YouTube. And that is exactly what is happening right now. The NFL has active deals with 6 broadcasters: ESPN and ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Amazon Prime Video, and Netflix. If you want to watch Thursday Night Football, you need a Prime subscription. If you want to watch the Christmas Day games, you need Netflix. If you miss a Monday Night Football game that is not simulcast on ABC, you need ESPN, which means you need a cable or streaming subscription. Courts have already ruled that the 1961 exemption does not cover cable or streaming. Only free, over-the-air broadcast TV is protected. So the government is now asking a very direct question. Is the NFL using a law meant to help fans to actually hurt them? But wait, before you think this is just the government doing its job, you need to know who actually made the call. Because the DOJ did not wake up one morning and decide to go after the NFL. Someone pushed them toward it. And that person has billions of dollars and a very specific reason for wanting this investigation to happen. Stay with me, because this is where it gets interesting. Fox Corporation pays more than $2 billion every year for the rights to broadcast Sunday afternoon NFL games. That is a massive number. But here is the problem Fox is staring at. The NFL has already told everyone it plans to use an opt-out clause to renegotiate all of its TV deals after the 2029 season. That means Fox is 4 years away from potentially losing NFL football entirely. Now, here is the other thing you need to understand about Fox. It is the only major NFL broadcaster without its own subscription streaming service. ESPN has its app. NBC has Peacock. CBS has Paramount Plus. Amazon is a streaming company. Netflix is a streaming company. Fox is just Fox, old-school broadcast television. So every time the NFL puts a game behind a streaming paywall, Fox cannot compete. They literally do not have the technology or the platform to match what the other broadcasters are offering. And the NFL knows it. Fox went to the FCC and publicly said that streaming services were supplanting broadcast networks. They described the situation as a crisis. They asked the government to look into whether the NFL's antitrust exemption even applies to streaming deals. Then the Wall Street Journal broke the story that the DOJ had opened an investigation into the NFL. The Wall Street Journal is also owned by the Murdoch family, the same family that owns Fox. Multiple people inside the NFL office told ESPN they believe the Murdoch family is the main force behind this entire investigation. Remember, we are talking about the same NFL that just had its most-watched season since 1989. This is not a league in trouble. This is a league that is so powerful, billion-dollar companies are running to the government for help because they cannot keep up. But here is the part that most people are completely missing. This is not the first time someone took the NFL to court over antitrust violations. And the last time it happened, a jury handed down one of the largest verdicts in sports history. Then something strange happened that made it all go away. And it set the stage for everything happening right now. In 2024, a jury in Los Angeles ruled that the NFL had violated antitrust law with the way it sold NFL Sunday Ticket as a premium subscription product. The jury awarded $4.7 billion in damages. That was not a typo. $4.7 billion. Then a federal judge overturned the entire verdict. The reason? Two expert witnesses for the subscribers used flawed math in their testimony. So the judge threw out the ruling. The NFL walked away. No penalty, no changes, but that case made one thing very clear. The question of whether the NFL's antitrust exemption covers subscription and streaming products is genuinely unresolved in American law. Nobody has given a final answer, and now the DOJ is the one asking. And while all of this is happening in courtrooms and government offices, the NFL is quietly doing something that almost nobody is talking about. They are not waiting for the investigation to finish. They are moving faster than ever to lock in new money. And one of the deals they are making right now could completely change who controls NFL football for the next decade. Here is what is actually happening on the business side right now. The NFL is in active negotiations with Paramount to renegotiate their deal early. Why Paramount specifically? Because when Paramount sold itself to Skydance, that sale triggered a legal clause in their NFL contract. That clause gave the NFL the right to reopen negotiations early. The NFL took that opportunity immediately. Once the Paramount deal is done, the league is expected to go after Fox next, and then renegotiate every other deal to have all new contracts in place before the current ones expire. At the same time, the NFL is shopping a brand new package of 5 games to potential buyers. Fox is in the running for that package, but so are YouTube and Netflix, two of the streaming companies that Fox just told the government were hurting the broadcast industry. Think about that for a second. Fox is pushing for a federal investigation into NFL streaming deals, while simultaneously competing against those same streaming companies for more NFL games. This brings us back to the original question. The government just opened a case against the most powerful sports league in the country. But after everything you have just heard, ask yourself, is this actually about fans being able to afford football? Or is this about one very powerful company trying to protect its business before it gets left behind? The NFL says their model is the most fan-friendly in all of sports. They point out that last season, 107 out of 143 game windows aired on broadcast television. That is 75%. They say only 21 games aired exclusively on streaming outside of the home markets of the two teams playing. But that number is going up every year. And the 1961 law was written for a world where 75% on broadcast was the floor, not something a billion-dollar league needed to brag about. So here is where we land. The government just opened a case against the NFL. And on the surface, it looks like a consumer protection story. Fans paying too much, games moving behind paywalls. A 60-year-old law that no longer fits the world we live in. But underneath that story is a $2 billion company with no streaming platform, a friendly newspaper, and a very strong reason to want the government to slow the NFL down before 2029. The case is open. The deals are being renegotiated. And whoever wins this fight will decide where you watch football for the next 20 years. The government just opened a case against the NFL. The question is, who actually wins?